Hey guys, Curtis Alexander. I'm a pharmacist. In this video, let's talk about the side effects that you can potentially see from ashwagandha. Now, I've done other videos on ashwagandha and it does have a lot of benefits. And some of those are, it's definitely serves as an adaptogen, can help some people with anxiety, those sorts of things. It does increase testosterone and it does appear to help increase muscle mass. So it definitely brings some good things to the table. However, if you talk to people or you look at the studies, there can be some negative side effects and just some more common side effects that we can see with ashwagandha. So let's talk about those. So first of all, one of the things that shows up that can be a little concerning is that it's cholinergic, which means, you know, cholinergic is kind of a system we have in our body and it can serve a couple of purposes. Now, one of the things we can see when you take ashwagandha and the fact that it is cholinergic is you can see improved learning and behavior, and people feel like they're a little more on point at times. However, the downside of that is that when something is cholinergic, it can essentially be stimulating to your body and particularly to your brain. And if you don't have enough energy to fuel that stimulatory process, the end result is it can be stressful. So some people will report that they felt jittery or they felt wiry, and that may be this cholinergic part of ashwagandha. The other thing we know is that when there's a stress in your body, you can see an increase in the number of dopamine receptors in your brain, and that's an adaptogenic response. And ashwagandha can actually suppress that natural reaction in your body. We also can see a increase in 5-HT. 5-HT is serotonin primarily made in your gut. And that can explain some of the side effects that we see with the gut, and I'll talk about those here next. So as far as the most common side effects, this is a little more background as to why some of these side effects may occur, but kind of rolling into the serotonin thing, some of the more common side effects you're going to see with ashwagandha is the stomach stuff, the diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach. Those are fairly common reports that we get from people as far as side effects with ashwagandha. The other thing to keep in mind, ashwagandha is technically a nightshade. So if you have problems with nightshades like tomatoes and so forth, you're probably going to struggle with ashwagandha and probably not something you want to be messing with. And so kind of wrapping it up, one of the, aside from the stomach side effects, when I explain that stuff in the beginning, that's why you'll see people, particularly when they're on ashwagandha a little longer, they will report their emotional level is low. They feel stunted. A lot of people describe it as zombie-like. They're just very flat after a while. And this kind of ties back into some of the things I pointed out earlier. They can also report being tired. That's fairly common. There is a small risk of bleeding increases when you take ashwagandha. So if you have any sort of disorder, bleeding disorder, or if you're taking blood thinners, that's something really important to remember. There are some reports of liver damage. However, I found these to be a little bit overblown. One of them was an isolated case study, and it's really difficult just to pin it down to ashwagandha. However, if you have liver problems, it's something to at least kind of pump the brakes on and look at a little more in depth before you jump into it. But again, my point here isn't to pick on ashwagandha. I think it has some very good applications. I think it can be very helpful in some instances, but I find as its popularity grows, people kind of forget about some of the potential side effects, and that was the point of this video. So let me know in the comments if you've taken ashwagandha. Did you experience any of these side effects? Maybe it worked great for you. Please let me know. It's very helpful for me. It's very helpful for the other people that watch this video to learn from your experience. Speaking of helpful, I hope the video was, guys. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.